Welcome to the ACF Rebuilt Era series, and I am so excited to walk you through my journey of rebuilding myself now that I have become a mom and how I'm going to work on losing the baby weight. In this video, I will be talking to you why I am doing this, what I'll be doing, and what have I done. I'm currently 10 weeks postpartum, so it is important that I share with you what has happened in the past 10 weeks. And if you haven't seen it, I did talk about it in the video previously on how my 6 weeks postpartum have gone. This time around, I will be giving you more of a summary of those 10 weeks. So let's first start off with why I am doing this. So before I even became pregnant, my goal was always to be a fit mom for when that happened. And that's why I was able to keep my fitness during pregnancy. I wanted to still make sure I prioritize myself, and I want to share with other moms that it is possible. It's still possible to take care of yourself. Believe me, I know it's a lot of work when you have a little baby and they need all your attention and you make them the priority, but it's also essential that you take care of yourself because you are the main source for your baby, especially when, they are so tiny. So you definitely want to be healthy. So for me, that is the reason that I want to do this. I want to start feeling more like myself, or what the new version of myself is going to feel. And that includes me getting back to working on my goals. Now, let's talk about what I will be doing. So I am currently going through a 12-week prep for a team photo shoot. So I am going to be having a team photo shoot for ACF, and I decided to join the challenge as well because I needed a little pick-me-up. I needed the motivation, and what better way to be motivated than doing this with the other women. And I am just so excited to go through the prep with them as well because I see them working so hard. It makes me work really hard. So that is one thing I will be doing. After these 12 weeks, I will be going through a photo shoot. Now, does that mean I officially stop after 12 weeks? No, I don't, okay? Obviously, I'm going to keep going and maybe I'll have another fun project. But for now, the photo shoot is gonna give me a deadline and something I know I am working towards, and it's gonna make me push a lot harder. So that is one thing. I'm gonna be doing a photo shoot. So what I am focusing on right now and what I have been focusing on is getting back into the mindset of a fat loss phase. It is not that hard to get back into the mindset of a fat loss phase, but you do need to kind of get yourself into it. And I really love a fat loss phase because it really challenges you and it pushes you to see what you are capable of. And obviously when I was pregnant after having my baby, I had not been on a fat loss phase for a good while. So I'm actually excited, but that doesn't mean I don't have struggles. I definitely have a lot of struggles. Like if you watch the previous video, I talked about how I've been struggling with getting back on plan, and I've been having a little bit too much fun food, and I've been feeling guilty, and I've been in the cycle that is not me. But now we are working on getting more consistent with nutrition. So nutrition is going to be key when it comes to weight loss. So one of the things that we'll be focusing on is following my meal plan. I do have a coach. My coach does help me through this process because I don't want to do it on my own. When we do things on our own, we second guess ourselves way too much. So I do have a coach that understands my goals. So the goal is to be on my meal plan, and I will be focusing on losing 1 pound a week. Now, the reason I am not doing a huge drastic fat loss phase is because I do want to maintain my milk supply to be able to provide the nutrients for my baby. So by not cutting down my calories in half, which sounds like crazy, nobody wants to do that and you shouldn't do that, I will be focusing on having a calorie deficit enough to lose 1 pound a week. Now, I don't count calories. I prefer prefer to follow a meal plan. So weekly, I just check in with my coach. I will be focusing on getting 10K steps every day, which let me tell you, it has been difficult when you have a baby. Your life is kind of structured around the baby. He eats about every 2 hours, he sleeps, and I try to take advantage of that sleep to work. So not all the time can I just be out walking, but my goal is to get 10K steps, and my workouts will be 4 times a week, strength training. At the moment, I haven't added cardio, so I will let you know once week 1 is done if cardio has been included. But for now, the goal was to work myself up to 4 days a week with weight training, and I have already done that. Now, let me give you a little bit of my stats of where I'm at. So at the end of my pregnancy, I was 156 pounds. Everybody's different. Some people weigh themselves, some people don't. I definitely weighed myself during whole pregnancy. I gained about 37 pounds. When my baby was born, I lost 10 pounds right away. And then after, I think it was 2 weeks or 1 week, my weight dropped an additional 6 pounds of probably inflammation and water retention. So I have lost a total of 16 pounds of not doing anything. And ever since then, the scale has remained the same. So that's currently where I'm at with my stats. When I got pregnant, I was roughly around 120 pounds, maybe 117. It was kind of like a fluctuation, but it was closer to 120 pounds. Where I am the most comfortable is like around 125, 120 is nice as well, but I want to say 120. So right now I am 140, 139 on any given day, and the goal is to lose 1 pound a week. So that means in the next 12 weeks, I'll be losing roughly around 12 pounds. It could be more, I still don't know. Obviously, it depends how my body responds. But like I said, my goal is to lose 1 pound a week due to wanting to keep my milk supply, especially being at 10 weeks postpartum. Now, I want to talk about what has happened the last 10 weeks, and this is going to be a summary because I obviously have a video. So at my 6-week mark, I got cleared to go to the gym. I went the first week 1 day. The second week of being cleared, I went 2 days. The third week of being cleared, I went 3 days to the gym. And then by the 4th week of being cleared, I have gone 4 days to gym. And right now I am just trying to see how my body is recovering. So my workouts have not been anything extreme. There were workouts that I was doing at the end of my pregnancy. That way my body recovers, which let me tell you, I have been super sore. I have been really tired. So we're gonna see how it continues from here. Now, as far as nutrition, if you watch my last video, I talked about how I had been struggling a lot with my motivation because I don't feel the most comfortable with my body. So I get a little bit sad and I go into my comfort food and I have food, and then I feel a little bit guilty for doing so. And then I have food that's a little bit higher in calories. Now, I never like to say I have bad food or good food. There's just like food that has a little bit higher in calories and don't attribute to my goals. So now the goal is to really reframe my mindset again around food and not use it as my comfort when I am not feeling good, and just remember that I have a goal that I am working towards. Okay, I will say the only reason I have decided to get back into a fat loss phase is not just because I will be having a team photo shoot, but because I already started getting into a rhythm, a routine with my baby. I am finally seeing like what his sleeping is like. His nighttime sleep has gotten longer and longer. So I have noticed he has gone from like 5 hours, 6 hours. There's some days where we get 7 hours of sleep stretch. So that is the reason why I decided to get back into a fat loss phase. Now, please do not compare yourself. Do not compare your postpartum with me. Every mom is different. And believe me, 4 weeks ago, there was no way I would have wrapped my head around me trying to get into a fat loss phase. So I do want to let you know, the first 6 weeks, we were just kind of in survival mode. I did not want to worry too much about everything. I don't want to think about working out. I don't want to think about anything. And I was trying not to add too much pressure on myself. And I say that trying because obviously I was, but still I reminded myself like, hey, the goal is just to make it through, let my body recover, give it enough time to rest, and also not add any additional stress to myself. And then as I worked up, that's when I decided to really focus on this. So if you are someone who is thinking about it, just always ask yourself if this is something that's possible, and go with what you can work with. So I'm excited to share with you this journey. So tune in, because every week I will have an episode of how the week went. I will be sharing with you a lot of tips and tricks that I have to help me go through this fat loss phase. And if you are someone who currently would like to achieve weight loss, but you don't know where to start and you need the right guidance, you can always go ahead and fill out my pre-application form. Let me know about your goals and I will reach out to you. But stay tuned, make sure you subscribe so that way you can see me get back into my rebuilt phase now that I am a mom and what my fitness journey is gonna look like. Bye.